Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It is great to have you here again. If I haven't met you before, I am Di. I'm the face behind Drift and Loop Crochet and my little caravan of crochet right here behind me. I'm really excited. Today is my first market video or market vlog. So today is Friday and my market is on Sunday. So today I am going to go through all my inventory. I'll basically just show you pretty much everything that I have, and I will also include the prices for you. And then the second part of the video will be just a market recap. I actually film using my phone, so I won't have much, if any, footage from the market. So I'll take some photos, I'll take some video footage early on, and then provided that my phone has still have enough charge in it, because I do use it for my Square payments, then I'll take some videos or some photos at the end as well. So after today, the next time you see me will be after Sunday, and here's hoping I'm going to be happy. No, I will be happy no matter what. Yeah, getting to a market is actually a major achievement. I know that we all put a lot of weight on selling our product, and rightly so, because it's a business. But also we forget about these little milestones in our journey as we go. You know what? Just creating the products, creating the stock to get to your market is actually a massive achievement. Getting to your first market, getting everything set up, getting through that first market is a massive achievement. It doesn't matter what the outcome is, because you can always improve bits. But just doing it, just getting there is absolutely huge. So anyway, enough of that. Let's move through the inventory. So I actually have stuff that I haven't shown you in my previous vlogs, and that is because this stock has been finished, and when I started doing the vlog journey, I was up to making plushies. So that's really what I've focused on with my previous vlogs. So I do have dishcloths, and I have them in a range of colors. So this is basically the style. Yes, it's a square with a hook. But this is my pattern that I have come up with, and it's actually something that I will market into more the caravan and the camping side. It just fits in with, you know, what we're doing and the lifestyle that we have, because these are actually a really quick dry, fantastic lightweight cloth, and they're actually really good for elderly people or anyone with arthritic hands that don't have a lot of strength in their hands. Because they're so thin, they're quite easy to wring out, but at the same time they're quite hardy. I use these in the caravan all the time, and some of mine have actually got cuts where I've cut them on a knife or something like that, and they're perfectly fine. They've, you know, because of the knots that we do when we crochet, they don't run. Yeah, these dishcloths are fantastic. So I have them in a range of variegated colors. I'm only showing you 2 samples. I think I have about 8 different variegated colors. And then I also have them in a range of solid colors as well. There's about 5 or 6 different solid colors. But all up with I've got my notes here on my lap, so excuse me looking down. All up with my quick dry dishcloths, I've got a total of 13 in the solid colors, and I've got a total of 17 in the variegated colors, and that they will sell for $15 each. So, and then I forgot to get one out actually. I do have this second design. It's not as well suited for in caravans. It's still perfect for houses. It's quite a bit thicker, and so I found when I was using it in the caravan that it just didn't really dry out. Again, it's still got the loop to hang it up. So I've got 10 of these in total. I've got 5 in this green and white, and then I have 5 in a brown and white. And I do love these. These were the first dishcloths I ever made. It's not my pattern. It's just, I can't remember what the pattern is, but it's just a free one off the internet. I think it was off a YouTube tutorial maybe. But what I add to all my dishcloths, because 99% of dishcloth patterns don't have a hook to hang them, to let them dry out. And when you're using these cotton dishcloths, you know, you need to be able to let them dry in between use, otherwise they get quite smelly, or, you know, they just, yeah, you just need to be able to let them dry. So that's those dishcloths. So in total, I have 40 dishcloths, which is $450 worth of inventory just in my dishcloths. Next, I have my face scrubbies. So let's find a colour that's going to show up. That's my scrubbies, and I have them available in 5 different colours. So, and then I also have soap savers that look like this, and they're in the exact same colours. So the soap savers and the scrubbies can actually make sets. So for my, the other thing that I have with my soap savers, which in a previous video, I think I did show these, I do them in packs of 5, and all I've done is wrap them with raffia, throw a swing tag on them. On the back of my swing tag is the care instructions. That's upside down, is the care instructions. So everything is there for the customer, everything that they need. So with my scrubbies, I've got 7 in this aqua, I have 8 in this blue, I have 9 in the silver, I've got, that one's my cream, I've got 8 in the cream, and I have 5 in the mauve. And then for each colour, I also have 2 packs of them made up with 5 lots of scrubbies in each pack. And with my soap savers, I have 5 in the aqua, 5 in the blue, I've got 5 in the silver, 5 in the cream, and I have 4 in the mauve. So that's all of that stuff. So that is a total. These numbers are just blowing my mind. Like, I made these, I've been making them for a couple of months. But it's not until you sit down and you actually do this inventory that you realise just how much work you have done. Because I have a total of 62 face scrubbies, and I have a total of 24 soap savers. So I've got 40 dishcloths, 62 face scrubbies, and 24 soap savers. Like, that is just huge numbers. No wonder my partner's starting to hate me crocheting so much. I also have scrunchies. I didn't bring the scrunchies out, they're inside. We know what a scrunchie is. But I do have 45 scrunchies in total. My scrunchies will be $8 each, or I do sell them 2 for $15. So yeah, it's a little bit of a savings, but basically $8 a scrunchie. And then you have seen these, maybe if you've watched other vlogs, but I have my lavender bouquets. Again, they've got the swing tag on the back. I have them in a range of colours in that one, and then I have the mixed colour. So I have a total of 5 lavender bouquets, and these guys will be $25 a bouquet. So I will come back and I'll do the inventory for the plushies in just a minute. But like I just keep saying about my numbers, like my inventory has just spun me out. I have a total of $999 worth of inventory with what I've just shown you. It is a total of 190 items. Huge, huge numbers, so much work. So hopefully these go to good homes where they're loved and enjoyed. So I will just put all of this away, and then I'll come back and I will do the inventory for the plushies. We'll go through all of those, and that will be it for this section of the vlog. So I will see you shortly. Okay, so now it's on to the plushies. So we will begin with the lowest price item. We will work our way up. So first of all are the $10 plushies. So in this range I have 6 of the mini sharks. So I have 3 in this color, and I have 3 in that color. I have got 6 mini stingrays. I have 3 in each of these colors. Let me hold them by their tails. There we go, with little white bellies. I have 3 of the mini octos. So 1 pink, 1 white variegated, and 1 in this blue variegated. And then I have 8 whales, 8 mini whales. I have 2 blue, and then 1 pink, 1 yellow, 1 in a, I don't know what color you'd call that, a greeny blue, turquoise maybe, 1 a dark blue, and 2 purple. So that is our $10 range. So next are the $12 keychains, and I have a total of 10. I've got 4 of the mini octos. So there's 1 of each color. So they're the octos. And then I have 6 of the mini whales. And again, it's just 1 in each color. Basically exactly the same as what we just saw without the keychains. So that's all I have for the keychains. They weren't really something that I was expecting to actually have for this market. I was sort of more looking, maybe not the market next weekend, but probably my next market after that. But if I do get time, I might take some of my bees that I've got, because I've got like 12 or 13 bees, and I might just pop keychains under some of those, and just something a little bit more interesting, add a bit more colour into the keychains. So the next range are the $15 plushies. So first off are the bees. I have 13 bees. So I have them in the black and yellow. I've got them in a brown and a cream. And I have 3 little rainbow bees. So there's 13 of those in total, and they are $15 each. So we have 2 beans the frog, they are $15 each. We have 2 stacked chicks for $15 each. And 4 of the Tilly the turtles, if I can get my, there we go. 4 Tilly the turtles, and they are $15 each. And I have 2 mini chickens for $15 each. So I have 9 rubber ducks. I've got 2 in the cream. I have 2 yellow, 2 in the red, I guess, pinky red, and 3 in the blue. I have 6 of the chicks in frog hats. So I've got 2 with the bear hats. I just made them brown instead of green. I've got 2 that are this coloured green, and I have 1 each in these colours, and they are $15 each. Then I have the blob birds. I have 5 blob birds in total. So I have a pigeon, I have the little chick, I have the chicken, the cockatoo, and the galah. And the blob birds are all $15 each. Next are the leggy frogs. I have 6 leggy frogs in total, 3 in this green and 3 in this green. And last in the $15 range are the octos. I have 4 of them. No. Those 2 colours and these 2 colours. So that's the end of the $15 items. So next are the $20 plushies, and I have 3 Swirly the snakes. So these are my smaller size. I have 4 of the mushy boys. I've got 1 in the blue, 1 green, 1 red, and 1 purple. And I have 6 of the little Riff the octopuses. So I've got 2 in that white, and I have 2 in that variegated blue-green. I have 2 in this variegated reddy purple, and I have 1 plain purple little rift. So that's all I've got for the $20 items. Next are the $25 plushies. Okay, so for $25, I have one Jellycat inspired macaron, and I have another Jellycat inspired sun bag charm star, just something different, really cute. I have one Kara the koala for $25. I have two of the larger swirly snakes, so these are $25 each. And I have three of the chubby penguins, and these guys are $25 each. I have three, no, I don't have three, I have six of the loaf kitties. So I basically just have one in each colour. Then I've got a solid grey, a solid brown, and my fluffy, very fat, much larger loaf kitty, but you can still be $25 as well. Next are my two Drift, the octopuses. So these are both $30 each. I have the three chubby dinos, which will be $30 each. And those. My little cow, who will be $30 as well. I know it's a lot smaller than the other $30 items, but there was so much work in this little cow. Huge amount of colour changes, and yeah, it was a lot of work, but it's very, very cute. And I will still make these cows, but they're just going to be priced appropriately. So next are my duckies with hats. I have jumped on the trend. This little hat fell off a bit. Let's just put that back on. Put his little string back under his non-existent chin. Anyway, we can fix that up later. So we have three of these duckies in hats and a green one, and these will be $35 each. And the lucky last but not least is my sleeping dragon, and this guy will be $45. So that is all the inventory. There's quite a bit there. So I have done the figures on just the plushies. I have a total of 123 plushies that I have crocheted, and it comes to a total inventory amount of $2,090, which is just mind-blowing for me. And so when I add everything together, what I have in my housewares plus what I have here in my plushies, I actually have a total of 309 items that I have crocheted, and it gives me a total inventory amount of $3,089. Huge, huge. Like, I knew I had a lot of stuff, and I'm not joking when I say I need to sell stuff so that we can fit in the caravan, because I can't fit all of this in the caravan. It needs to be sold before we're actually going to move on. And you know what, if it doesn't sell, so what? I'll just donate it to charity, like to a cancer council or something like that, to sick kids in hospital, or, you know, there's plenty of charities, there's plenty of people out there doing it hard. That, like, honestly, that's my thought process. So the next time I speak to you, it will be after my market on a Sunday, and I will be doing the recap. So fingers crossed that, you know, I do manage to sell some stuff, and I will see you then. Until then, have a great weekend, and I will see you on Monday. Bye, guys. Guys, so today is Tuesday. It is now 2 days, or today's the second day since the market, and I've just taken a bit of time to let the whole experience soak in and let different things sort of come to mind. And even just sitting here before I've hit record, I've just thought of some other things about my market setup that I would probably change. So I'll do the recap quickly and then I will talk about the actual experience and what I've taken away from it. So it wasn't a huge payday for me. It's not like all these other channels where, I sold 500, 600. I sold a total of $197 worth of stock. I had 8 customers, and those 8 customers, I sold 3 loaf kitties for $25 each. I sold my large green swirly snake for $25. I sold my grey maple chicken for $25. I sold a chicks in frog hat, and that was with the sage green hat. So I sold one of those for $15. I sold 2 of my octos for $15 each. I sold a black and yellow bee for $15. And my final sale for the day was a pink whale keychain for $12. So that's actually pretty good. The site for the day was only $15. So, it's not like I paid hundreds of dollars to go to this market. So I'm still ahead in terms of making money. So what I am taking away from it, there's lots of things. It was quite interesting in the morning before the market started. Some of the stall holders who are regulars came up to me and, had a bit of a chat. They were absolutely lovely. And one lady who's been doing markets for over 30 years just said to me, whatever today brings, please don't get disappointed and please don't judge your market experience on today. She said, it's been really quiet. We're not getting a lot of people through, and the people who do come through aren't buying, they're just browsing. She said, but come September, October, people will start to put their hands back in their pockets and your sales will go up. She said, so don't judge your experience and your future on today. And I thought that was lovely because she didn't have to say that. So I am really holding on to that. And you could see it anyway as you watch the people. There wasn't a lot of people come through, and most of them were just browsing. There weren't a lot of buyers. So what I take away from it is, 8 people actually came up and bought something, which is fantastic. It's 8 more than what I have here at the caravan. So that's awesome. But I also had so many people just come up and look at the work that I've done and tell me how beautiful it was. And, I didn't have a single negative comment all day. Everyone was just lovely. And what I really enjoyed was the little old ladies that came up and looked at my dishcloths and my face scrubbies and my soap savers, and they've crocheted for 30, 40 years. And so the first thing they did was turn them over, have a look at the back, have a look at how I've sewed my ends in. And this one lady, she was just gorgeous. She reminded me of my mum. And she had a look at the back and she just looked at me and she said, it's stunning. She said, it's just stunning work, my darling. And, my mum had taught me that the back of your work should basically look the same as the front of your work. That is the neatness that should be when you sew your ends in, and how the inside of your product is. And so to hear these old ladies commenting on the back side of my work rather than the front side just brought back so many memories. I'm sorry. So my mum was a big part. Sorry, guys. My mum taught me to do all of this. My mum taught me to crochet, and yeah, she's not with us now, but she'd be really proud. She'd be really proud to see me. And oh God, let me get it together. She'd just be really proud of what I'm doing. So yeah, sorry. Wow, that just come out of the blue. I even rang my dad and told my dad, and I didn't even get teary talking to him about it. But yeah, my mum was pretty amazing. Anyway, moving on. So what I did think this morning when I was thinking about my stall is Something that I will do is reduce the size of my price tags. I had them quite large so that it was easy to read. But when I look back at my photos of my stall, the price tag actually jumps out before the product does. So I think if I was just to even make them half the size of what they were, they would still be there. They'd still be quite visible, but it would allow the products to shine a little bit more rather than having the price tag shine. Another thing I noticed when people were browsing on the table is that they tend to only browse at the table height. So I had things stacked up at different heights to make it interesting and to kind of draw the eye through the table. But what I found was most people didn't see anything that was up there on the higher crates. It was only if I mentioned them that then their eyes went up higher and they looked at the product. So I will have a look at probably bringing a lot more of my items down onto table height, or I'll reduce the height of some of those other items that I've got. The other thing that I had, when I got there, I had only booked one table. It was a 1.8 metre table. And the organiser was fantastic. She said, oh, I've got too many tables out. I need to get rid of some of the tables. And she said, that way we can have a lot more room. And I said, oh, I could take a second table if that was okay. And she's like, yeah, not a problem. So she gave me a second table. And then she put me on a corner. And so it meant I had the plushies on one side, which was the main walkway. And then I had my dishcloths and scrubbies around the corner on the second table. And what I found was that most people didn't actually come around to the scrubbies. They walked up to the plushies and thought that one table was all I had. And then they kind of kept walking and looked at products on the tables on the outside rather than continuing around. So if I could help it, I don't think I'd have another corner site again. It's a bit different if within your stall you've got your table set up like in an L shape, because that brings people in. It's quite obvious that that's all your site. But yeah, with the way this was set up, I just don't think that if I could get out of having a corner stall again, I definitely would. I'd much rather have everything just in front of me, and that makes it quite obvious that this space is all my product. Other than that, there's not too much to take away. There's not much to change on the day. My writing down of the products that sold worked well. I did actually get to use my Square card reader a couple of times, even though it was a cash preferred market. A couple of people wanted to pay by card, and that's fine. So I know that all of that works, so that's great. And it was very exciting yesterday getting my email from Square saying, my $64 and however many cents have been transferred into my account. That was really nice. Yeah, it was a very relaxed and casual market. It's not the ideal market for me in that it is a flea market. So the majority of the stalls were people who have just got stuff out of their houses that they want to clear out and they want to sell. That was what the majority of the stalls were. So it's more a secondhand bargain type market. But having said that, I have booked in. I am going back next month purely because it's 20 minutes away. The site's cheap, and if I only sell $200 worth again, it's $200 more than what I make sitting here at the caravan. So, you've got to be in it to win it kind of thing. So yeah, I will head back, and this time I sort of know what expectations to have for that market, so I won't sort of walk away not knowing how to feel. So I definitely will do it again. So there's not a lot of crocheting that I have to do this week because I didn't sell that much. But one thing that I am doing is the cats, my loaf kitties, were just so popular. Nearly everyone that walked past the table stopped and played with the kittens. So I do need to replace 3 that I sold, and then I'm going to, and I have started making more loaf kitties just in a range of colours. So I have made these 3. this little blue guy has got a little grey face. And I will just make a lot more kittens. I'll probably make about 6 or 8 loaf kitties in all different colours, and yeah, just have them there and try and sell more. I will probably, these guys I just had sitting on the table with a sign in front of them, but I'm about to head into town and do some shopping. I need to get my tables for my market on Saturday, and I'm going to grab a cardboard box, and I'll put the loaf kitties in the cardboard box, and I'll just have a handwritten sign up there, you know, saying adopt a kitten, $25, and just see if that doesn't sort of help with the sales a little bit. But other than that, yeah, it's loaf kitties, 2 octos that I'll crochet, and then obviously I didn't sell my stocks, so I don't really have a lot to do, which is a nice place to be in. Because I actually do need to do my podcast. I was really naughty, and because I was so focused on my market, my podcasts release every Monday morning at 7 a.m. And I actually didn't release on Monday morning because I just focused on crocheting and just getting everything right with my stall. Oh, that's what I do have to show you, is another thing that my partner did. So yeah, I didn't do my podcast. So yesterday I've been on the computer all day. I released my podcast last night at like 9 o'clock last night. I'm back on the computer today doing more podcasts. Like I've said previously, I have 4 channels. So that means 4 minimal 2-hour long podcast episodes being released every Monday morning at 7 o'clock. So it's a bit of work. But let me just show you, because you know how I was crocheting the whale keychains and the octo keychains the night before, literally or the day before, on Saturday at lunchtime, my partner came along and I was just talking to him about what I had. And I said, oh, I've got these keychains, but I probably won't put them out because I don't have anything to hang them up on. You know, next time I'm at Bunnings, I want to get a bit of mesh or something, and I'll just put some feet under it, and that can be my keychain stand. And I went inside just doing stuff, and I could hear him banging around outside and didn't really take any notice. And then he called me out and he says, oh, come have a look at this. Is this suitable? And give me one moment. I'm just going to go and grab it. So bless his little cotton socks. Now I've just got a bag of stuffing to hold up behind this so that you can actually see it. So he had, I'll put it on its side maybe. He created this. So it does have, let me get rid of that. It's got this little leg at the back, it's got the string there to hold it, and it is just mesh. So what he did, he went and found a bird cage, an old bird cage here on the farm that's not being used, and he made me a little keychain stand. And then we do have some other mesh. All that we will do is clean this up quite well. But some of the paint has started to come off. So today when I'm in town, I'll just get a spray can of black paint and we'll just give that a new coat. And so that is my keychain holder for my $12 keychains. And then we'll make another one a bit bigger for the $15 keychains. And then if we can find it, I said to him, I'd really love to be able to hang my dishcloths instead of having them laying flat on the table. So we're going to have a look around and see if we can find something that we can set up and use to hang the dishcloths off as well. So that was a really nice surprise. So once he'd made that for me, I was like, oh, I can't just have, you know, whales and octos for the keychains. That's pretty boring. So I spent Saturday afternoon and some of Saturday night just crocheting some more keychains. And I did make this little chick. I'll hang that over there. I made a little panda. I made, these are the Porgy's Place from her Critterlings pack. So I did make a mallard, and he has got the little leggy legs instead of bobbles for legs. I made a strawberry. And actually one thing with this keyring, I know that he's quite a bit bigger. And once I get my $15 keychain stand set up, these guys will go to be $15. At the moment, I've just got them as $12. And even though they were $12, they still didn't sell. Like dirt cheap. I made a little chick. He actually has the individual toes, whereas the mallard, I just did him as like the round foot. I made another little chick. Let me get that sun off. And I thought I made some other ones, but that must be about it. So that was what I made anyway. So just, you know, there wasn't a lot of extra stuff that I did, but it just sort of mixed up the keychain stand, so it wasn't just whales and octopus. So that is about it for this vlog. Looking forward, I do have another market on Saturday, and that's another indoor market. It's a little bit further away this time, but again, it's really cheap. It's $25 for a stall, and it runs from 9 o'clock till 1 o'clock. It is a one-off special market in a little town. It's actually at Murchison, so it's just like a one-off market that they're holding just to try and have something to do in the town, basically. So I won't do the inventory for that market, only because it's basically exactly the same as what I've just done in this video, and I don't want to be repetitive, but I will do the recap on it, and hopefully I have more things that I have to crochet after it. Hopefully I have a few more sales. So until then, until the next video, if you have made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your support. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button below. And take care, guys, and have fun. Bye.